Welcome to Simply Business. I'm your host, Taylor Lee, and I'm so excited to have you here. As a business consultant, I've helped countless business owners simplify their strategies and achieve their goals, and now I'm here to bring you this expertise right to your ears. Each episode, I'll be sharing tips and strategies to help you achieve your business goals without the overwhelm. I will also be chatting with business owners and industry experts to share their stories, insights, and lessons they've learned along the way. Let's dive in and simplify your business. Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of Simply Business. Today, if you're watching this episode, you can probably tell that we have a guest episode, which I'm so excited about. She's a queen. Today, I'm interviewing Alice from Aver Active, which I discovered Alice on TikTok, and that's what we're going to be speaking about today is content, marketing, business, all of the things which I'm so excited about. If you haven't heard of Alice and Aver Active, it's fucking an incredible brand, and they're literally the example of authenticity in content. So I'm really excited for today's episode and where it goes. But Alice, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
We were just chatting off air and I was like, I need to hit the record button because this shit's already getting good.
Yeah.
For anyone that's new here, Alice, I would love to hear just like a bit of a synopsis about who you are, even your journey and how that Aver came about.
Yeah, cool. I'll try and keep it short and sweet. So pretty much my name's Alice. I'm 24 years old and I live in Melbourne, if that's somewhat interesting. I launched Ava in March 2022, so just over 2 years ago now. But I did come up with the idea probably a good 6 to 12 months prior to launching because it takes a hot minute. The reason I sort of started Ava, I don't know if you're going to ask this, but was because I was a personal trainer for like 5-6 years / online coach. So as you do, wearing activewear, ordering activewear every day, every week, spending stupid amounts of money myself on every brand you can imagine. I was sort of getting it in the mail and being somewhat happy with it, but 9 times out of 10, something was like, oh, I wish the fabric was like this, or I wish the cut was like that, or I wish it made my bum look like this.
Yeah.
And then we sort of were coming into lockdown, or they were speaking about it, and I thought, it's sort of a good opportunity where I'm going to have boatloads of time. Let's see if I can, I can probably do it better. If I know activewear like I think I know activewear because I wear it so often, let's see if I can sort of do it better. And I feel like I have now, which is great. But yeah, that's sort of where the idea came from, just purely by being so passionate about it and wearing it every day myself. And now I've been running Ava for 2.5 years. I only in July started doing Ava full time. Prior to that, I was still online coaching for the first 2 years. So yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And it's cool that you've had a transition from like something that's somewhat similar as well. I'd even love to know on that with the journey of building your business. I think a lot of people, especially that I work with, have this thing of like, my business is only serious once I do it full time, but they almost put themselves in a financial position that's like fucked relying on their business. What kind of point did you get Ava to until that you actually decided to work full time in the business? I know you've now got staff, employees, and things like that. So I'd love to kind of hear about that transitional journey, even if it was like a financial thing or what was the thing of like, yeah, cool, I'm good to go full time.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting question because to be honest, it wasn't a thing of my income or it had nothing to do with money for me in my personal journey. It was at the start of the year, we were growing so fast and we were organizing bigger and better things such as our pop-up shop that we did in Melbourne. And I had 2 staff at the time, and there was just so much going on, plus coaching one-on-one clients, which you would understand it's a lot. It's emotionally exhausting as well as the physical demands of a job because you're working with people's emotions and you're talking, it's a service. And then I also would run confidence challenges, which would be 10-week intense challenges, and we'd finish with the big photo shoot, and it was again another emotional thing. So around like February this year, 2024, I started getting the worst anxiety. I've never, ever, ever been one to get anxiety or suffer with anxiety or anything. And now that I've had it, I would not wish it upon my worst enemy. So pretty much at the start of the year, around March, I started dealing with it really bad. I decided not to go on medication just for personal preference. And instead, as much as it was really long and really difficult at times, I decided to see a breathwork specialist and really learn how to breathe when I started to face, panic attacks or anxiety. But I just think it all came down to trying to juggle everything and overfilling my cup, not exercising, not eating well, not looking after myself, plus looking after two businesses and a lot of people amongst both those businesses. It just got way bigger than it should have been while I wasn't looking after myself. So yeah, the reason really that I stopped coaching for the time being anyway, I haven't ever actually voiced this to like my girls. It's actually called Train with Taya, the other business. I've never voiced that to them and that page because it's more like a pause because I still do love it.
Yeah.
But I had to actually, for my physical mental health, stop doing both. It
Mm.
was reason. But in a from a fine, sorry, my gosh. I get excited and then my lips start going way faster than my brain. From a financial perspective, the business had already turned over $2 million before I decided to just work on Aver. And to me, that's saying something. It goes to show that you can do a lot more than you sort of put your mind to it too. You can do a lot. Oh my God, sorry. This is the anxiety. When I start talking about my anxiety, I get anxiety, which is just great. Yeah, it just goes to show that if you can manage everything and you're efficient and organized and you're happy to do everything, you can do it. But for me, it just wasn't a good health decision for the time being.
Yeah. How did you go showing up? Obviously being someone that's like the face of your business, creating content, showing up, managing team, going through that. Like, I think that's huge for business owners. And then I even think, especially adding to that, being a young business owner, it's a lot. Like, how did you actually manage showing up? Obviously, taking a step back from coaching was one of those things that you did. But
Yeah.
looking back, if that anyone was going through something similar, like, what would your advice be?
Yeah. Obviously, at the end of the day, I'm still one of those people where I could be going through the worst thing ever, but I will still show up for who I need to and what I need to. That's how I've always been. So even like I remember with coaching, I'd be going through the worst breakup of my whole life, like crying on the floor. But if it hit 10 a.m. and I had the coaching call from 10 till 10:45, I was sitting in my chair, tears were wiped away, and I was like, "Hey Queen, how have you been? I hope you've had the best week. Let's run through your check-in." The second that check-in was done, I was like, my life's over, whatever. And that's just how I run. I'm like, people have committed to me, people expect something of me, people pay for a service or a product, or there's that expectation. And my pride, I don't know if it's a pride or an ego thing or what it is, but I'm kind of rain, hail, or shine, no matter what I'm going through. There's certain things that I still for myself want to / enjoy showing up for, no matter what. So
I love
that was sort of one layer of it. But there was definitely times where, we'd have to batch film a bunch of content because I'd have 2 really average days where I was like crying on the way to work, and then I was having a really shit time, and I couldn't breathe, and I felt dizzy, and then I this and then that, and then I went home early. There was so many days like that leading into the pop-up especially. Um, but yeah, for me, it's more so the show must go on. Nobody is going to sacrifice as much or work as hard on your business as you will. So if you're sort of half-assing it because you're unfortunately having a shitty time, it's literally you want to run a business and you want to work for yourself and have all the pros, you've got to have you've got to cop the cons of that, which is your life can be ending and you still have to wake up and open the shop doors. This unfortunately reality.
Yeah, and I love that, and I think it's like one of those like hard truths, but it's true where and it can also be true where you can be like navigating something really challenging as a human behind the business, and then business can be doing incredibly, like you said, you turned over like 2 million at that point, and two truths get to coexist at the one time. But I think, yeah, that's huge where I think too many people make very emotional decisions in business where it's like, fuck, I don't feel good today. I'm not showing up. I'm not creating content. Um, but you have to do both. And I love that. I think that's important for
Yeah.
people to hear. I would love to,
And there was,
you go.
sorry,
You go.
no, sorry. I just wanted to add to that as well, though. I also use those times to show vulnerability and authenticity with your community, because that's where, in my opinion, you are going to gain the most amount of online friends and trust online. Like, I remember my partner at the moment and I were having an average time. Like, as most relationships do, you have your amazing moments and you have your average months or whatever. We're having an average month and we're kind of going through it, and I was just struggling in general, probably was anxiety in its early stages. And I remember I did a get ready with me to go see the psychologist. And I know it sounds wild, but I'm like, maybe me showing up vulnerable and authentically and not showing up makeup done, having the best time ever, being so fun and funny is going to give my community an opportunity to see the actual behind the scenes of not just the business, but the business owner. So I actually made a video and I was fully crying on my kitchen table saying, I genuinely don't know if I'm going to be able to go to this pop-up, because for everyone that doesn't know, I'm struggling so bad. I didn't end up posting that one purely because I wanted to prove something to myself that I could do it, and I was brave enough to sort of just cop everything. But I think there's two sides of it. You can hide and deal with your own things and keep showing up for your business, or there's certain times where you actually are so low, and sometimes the best thing is either just keep the show going on and act like nothing's happened if you don't want to share it. But if you're wanting to really build a community, the best thing you can do is sometimes leverage off those low moments. I know it sounds bad, but everyone was like, good luck, queen, like I'm wishing you the best, and I have anxiety as well, I hope this helps, this is a tip that like I use, or it's just a different layer.
I love that. And it was such a perfect segue into where I wanted to take the conversation, because that's something, like, when I reached out to you, that you do so well is authenticity. And I think so many people take authenticity as this like thing where it's either that they're completely oversharing, or it's that they think they need to present as a way that seems authentic. I would love to know for you, like, your journey. I know we even spoke about this just before we hit the record button around, how much that like your sales increased and business grew when you actually started tapping into your authenticity. I'd love to know kind of that journey in terms of your content, what you navigated at the start, because showing up online is fucking terrifying. Like, anyone, for the first, like, I look at the first video I created, I'm like, oh sis, like that's actually fucked.
I
Um,
know.
and I think you just have such a unique point of difference in like your humor, and just, I'm like, yeah, and this bitch is so like on. Like, you can feel it in your content. But yeah, I'd love to know kind of what that journey looked like for you and coming into, yeah, this is my point of difference in the space.
Mm. Yeah, I think I love that that's our point of difference as well, because people are not just buying your product because they like the look of your product, but they're buying the product to support the person, to support the business's growth, to support the characters in the business. Like, I look at myself and my three girls that work full time here as characters on our own sort of show, and people are buying into that.
Yeah.
Some kind of like the Kardashians, the reason why all their businesses do so well is not just because, Kim and Skims is such a great product and people just love the bras and the undies and the shapewear, but also because Kim owns it and she's also such a good character for whatever that show is. So I sort of tapped into it quite early on last year, that the more myself I am, the more characters I show the community, the more of a sort of show I can build out on my page, the more growth I had, compared to trying to make these refined aesthetic cookie cutter videos that I just don't make easily either. It's actually easier for me to make a video of me burping and farting and swearing and making funny voices and doing ugly faces and posting that than trying to make a really beautiful aesthetic make meal prep with me video that's got beautiful lighting and looks. I can't do that. I'm actually so bad at it. So once I sort of tapped into that and realized people, they were complimenting me on the authenticity. They were complimenting me on the fact that this is such an easy watch. And I feel like I'm on FaceTime to a friend. And I feel like, I'm actually your friend. And I was enjoying those comments, as you do, because I was like, I'm not even pretending to be no one. I'm literally being myself, and you guys are eating it up. Then I'm winning, you're winning, we're all having a good time. And yeah, like I was sort of saying to you off air, the difference between what I was making, not showing up more so consistently, maybe over authentically. So showing up 3 times a day on TikTok, that's what it was for me, authentically, October 2022, when we weren't on TikTok at all, and I was trying to be very refined, cookie cutter, perfect business photos. You get the vibe. We did $6,400 that month, which still amazing for a small business at the time. Like, it was literally a hobby of mine at that point. And then going into 2023, I was like, let's not look at this as a hobby anymore. Let's look at it as a company and treat it like a company. Put all your eggs into Aver's basket for a year. And if it flops still, you've wasted a year and wasted, let's say, $50,000, which is a lot, but over a course of a year is not that deep. It is still bad. But if it does well, I'm laughing, because then I've only put in a really hard 1 year of work, which is what it ended up being. I still work hard now, but doing it all on your own is a different ball game. So October 2022, we were 6.4K for that month. October 2023, 1 year later, posting 3 times every single day without fail, we did $240,000. So I don't know what that percentage increase is, but it's astronomical. And it was a shock to me. I remember our first 6-figure launch. I was looking at my boyfriend, we were all in the lounge room and we were pointing at each other, and I was like, nah, like, refresh the page, refresh. And he was like, no, you've literally made $100,000. And I'm like, no, refresh it. Like, I couldn't fathom. And then I remember my marketing guy called me and he was like, your business literally just earned a house deposit. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it was wild. Because I didn't even understand fully the effect of consistently and authentically showing up on a platform that builds as rapidly as TikTok builds and grows.
That's insane. Like, that is insane. And obviously we're in September now recording that, and I can only imagine that that's probably increased again then for like what you're predicting for the following October. But I think it's huge. There's so many like directions I want to take this conversation, but just the consistency piece is huge. So many people start a business and they give it a crack for like 12 weeks. It's probably the same in people's fitness journey. And it's like, why is nothing happening? And I was having a conversation with a client this morning, and she was like, where's the line of I need to like alter my strategy versus like, I just need to stay consistent? I'm like, I tweaked my strategy in Jan. This month is like my highest cash month, and I'm only just seeing that 9 months later. And that's like me scratching the surface. So it's so cool to see that it's like, yeah, 3 TikToks a day consistently. Then you've got Instagram, team, all of the things. And also just doing that yourself as well before you could even get to a point of having, team.
It was a lot. Like, my boyfriend didn't really spend much time with me. Up until July 2023, I was like, oh, I can hire someone now.
What's your opinion on that, with like that line of like, sacrifice and like you doing something and then going, okay, now's the point to kind of outsource? Like, yeah, I'm just curious to know your opinion. I hear so many people, especially just more so in the coaching industry, it probably doesn't really apply, but so many people are like, you can achieve this with working 2 hours a day. It's kind of like that MLM. Like, I hear that and I just fucking want to bang my head against a wall. But yeah, I'd love to kind of just hear your perspective, being someone that's gone through that and achieved a lot of success through that.
Yeah. Last year, when it was just me and you're wearing every single hat physically possible, like hats, I didn't even know were hats. Like, I'm like, that's not a hat. They're like, it's a hat, wear it. I'm like, fuck. I was
like
doing
touching the roof.
it was touching the clouds. I don't even know how many hours I would have been doing, but coaching, because I was doing coaching plus Ava and I'm really trying to build it. Literally, I have a worker now that works full time, 40 hours a week or 32 some weeks. And her job is to literally do just the 3 videos a day and now YouTube vlogs, right? I have one person to do that one job, and I was doing 3 TikToks a day plus an Instagram a day on my own, plus coaching, plus packing orders, plus designing, plus talking to manufacturers, plus everything. I actually don't know how I did it now, but I think sacrifice, again, like I said before, nobody, especially when you're starting a business, is going to work as hard as you. And if you're not busting your balls and sacrificing your time, your energy. I didn't go out. I didn't hang out with my boyfriend all that much, especially, on the couch. We'd sit next to each other, but I'd be editing my videos,
Yeah.
and that to me, I used to gaslight myself into telling him that I'm like, I'm not working. I enjoy editing. I'm like, I love editing. This is fun. Don't tell me I'm working. I'm not still working. It's not 11 p.m. and I'm working. He's like, babe, you're working. Like, you need to have a break.
Mm.
So I mean, I copped really bad anxiety the following year. So I don't know if that's healthy, but for me, I personally would rather sacrifice for, let's say, 12 months, go hard, go ham, and, rather than post once a week. Oh, but it's really hard, but I have another job, and all of these victim sort of excuses. And then it takes me 12 years to grow something that I could have gone ham on for 12 months over. That's just the way I kind of roll. But you do have to sacrifice. Otherwise, don't start a business. You can work your way up in a good job and still make good money. If you want to start a business, you need to understand what comes with that. I think so many people don't realize.
1,000%. And so much like entitlement as well in business, where it's just like, I think people see the highlights on Instagram. Potentially they could see like your TikTok or my Instagram content. Like I saw an old friend from school and she's like, oh, you're just like, you've got the life and you're swimming in success. I'm like, yeah, you don't see the shit behind the scenes. Exactly that. Editing on the couch at 11 p.m. where you're like, fucking hell. Like, and you say no to friend events, and like it does take sacrifice, and it's looking at who you take advice from in that, when the people are like, no, you can get there working 2 hours. It's like, okay, what have they actually built for themselves? Because yeah, you can look at your brand. It's like, that's who I want to be taking advice from in the apparel space, like someone that's actually done the thing.
Yeah. I would, like I said, in 2022, I probably was doing 2 hours, maybe 5 hours a week in
Mm.
Aver.
Yeah.
And it was doing nothing. Like, I was still making sales when I'd restock. I restocked a couple of times, but it was very low scale. And it was more so like people seen me wearing it in the gym, or they saw my friends wearing it. It was more so word of mouth. I wasn't building anything. I had no community. I wasn't really trying, and I was very low effort. I
Mm.
could have stayed there just to make that like extra 2K a month income, let's say. But still, the effort of manufacturing, importing, all of your shipping goods and printers that you do and buy, I'm like, what am I literally was saying to myself, what am I doing? This is a waste of my time. And yeah, let's just go balls deep for 12 months. If it does, like I said before, if it does well, I'm laughing. If it doesn't do well, I've only wasted a year. And in the grand scheme of your life, touch wood, we live till 100, it's nothing,
Yeah, it's so true. And you don't know if you don't know, like just giving it a crack. I'd love to
Exactly.
know, even like selfishly, because I don't think like, I know I look at like e-com like business owners. I'm like, take my hat off too. Like, I don't think I could do it. I'm like, that's fucked. The admin, the shipping, like all of the things. I'd love to know just like a little bit in terms of if someone was not necessarily someone that wanted to start an e-com biz, but more so someone from the perspective of like, here's the behind the scenes, guys. What does it kind of look like running an ecom business in terms of like the design process, manufacturing, getting things shipped into Australia? I think I saw a video of yours and you were speaking about the zipper. I think it was like your winter drop and you're like, this custom zipper. Like I was like, this shit's so interesting. So yeah, I'd kind of love to know about the process, even you're about to launch a new collection. So what does it kind of look like from, okay, we want to do a new collection, designs? Like I'd love to just hear some behind the scenes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's like 100 million different processes and like
You're like, how long
things.
have we got?
I know. If look, I'll just use spring as an example. So spring we're launching in October, which is month 10, and I designed it in Jan. So that gives you an idea of how sort of long you need for your whole like design, the conceptualizing the whole thing, and then getting your first sample. I don't know, can take a good like month, 2 months. And then once you sort of get your first sample, it could be 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 samples. It literally depends on the garment. I can think of two traumatizing pieces of clothing that we did like 20 to 30 samples on. And I still don't know what was wrong with us and why it took us that long. But I'm quite like a perfectionist. Like if I have a vision of how I want it to sit on the body or how I want it to feel on the body, like it needs to sit and feel like that. So yeah, it's a good like 9 to 12 months from concept and design to getting your bulk in your warehouse, counting it and putting it away to then sell.
Mm.
So it's very, very, very lengthy. The whole process, if you're doing it on your own, plus again, wearing all your hats, is mind numbing. But I'm very grateful now I have a production team. So they manage my chatting with my manufacturers and all that back and forth. So now pretty much what I have to do is design it, draw it up. Here you go, make it into an illustrated CAD for me, show me, I'll color it up. I try on the samples, I make my amendments. But all that communication now I don't have to do, which is heaven. Then shipping, you can air freight shipping. That could take a week, but it could cost $10,000 to $20,000, which is
Wow.
wild. Yeah. Or you can see, I had no idea when I started Aver that shipping could cost that much. It actually makes me ill. Or you can wait 40 days, but put it on a boat, and that might cost you, $5,000, $10,000 still. And then it takes forever. So there's all of those sort of layers. Then, you're wanting to launch the product 2-3 months before. You get shooting samples, you organize models, you organize your photographer, videographer, you organize for me the marketing concept. So for spring, I kind of go back and forth on ideas. I think my original idea was to kind of do like a Mean Girls, where the four girls in like a room, their shots come into frame, we're all sort of talking on the phone, whatever. And it sort of evolves from that into like, okay, that's going to take 2 days to film and do. I don't want to outlay that much money. Okay, maybe if we do this, maybe we do that. And then you finally come up with an idea and you're like, that's banging, it's a vibe, it's different. So there's that whole marketing process. Then you got to wait for all your images to get edited and your videos to get edited, make your amendments, make your changes, then schedule it into apps so that it can get posted for you. Then your TikTok girl's it's like, I can't even describe it. Whilst you're doing all of this as well, you're designing the next 4 collections and doing that whole same process. So we're in October now, and I've already finalized my designs for up until July next year,
Wow.
because you have to. Because
Yeah.
like I said, you want to put it on a boat or a plane, or you want to do 20 samples, that could add another 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 months. So you need to be like stupidly prepared.
Yeah, it's actually insane. I again, that's why I'm like, personally, I don't think I'll ever go into ecom because yeah, I like hear content, and I think it's cool with business owners, especially in that space, sharing all that info, because even now people like get into it and they're like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to cost me this much or it was going to do this much. And then they kind of tap out and they've literally flushed like 20, 30, 40, 50K down the toilet. So I think it's cool where it's like actually for people like, this is going to be the investment from a financial perspective, but equally your time and
100%. I think like if I looked back and I knew the level of layers that go into a clothing ecom business, I would have picked something else. I would have picked a product, a water bottle, like Frank Green. I'm like jealous of. I'm like, you literally have 5 or 6 like of your key products and you just change the colors. Like, what? You don't even have to put it on a model. You just take, flat lays of it. I'm like, I am jealous and envious of that brand. I obviously adore creating clothing, but if I fully knew, I probably wouldn't have gotten into it. But I guess that's what I'm glad that I didn't know, because I'm naive, and that's how you just learn. And then you all of a sudden you're 2.5 years in, your business is doing amazing. But yeah, if I looked back, I probably would have been like, yeah, scary. No thanks.
yeah, I'm like, I'll stay here in the online
Yeah.
service space.
Or just launch like a thing, you
Yeah,
know,
like maybe like some office like supplies or something.
100%, 100%.
I would love to kind of take the conversation into like marketing then, which I think kind of ties into like a little bit of authenticity. But we said again, another conversation that we had before we recorded, but you do marketing different. And you were saying that, you don't shoot just in a gym just because it's activewear and things like that. I would love to know, even without fully like letting in on all the secrets, but like how did you come into kind of your point of difference with Ava, and then B, like your like ideas and stuff? And I know that's kind of hard to put an explanation on, but I think it's something that even from a content perspective, a lot of people struggle to create unique content. A perfect example I see in like the fitness coaching space, like every man and their dog replicating like Adam Sullivan because his content's good. Like it's just like if you can actually tap into what makes you unique and then market and leverage that, that's where the money is. So I'd love to know kind of, even if it's just your journey and you coming into that, or yeah, anything that you feel called to share on that.
Even like touching on me running a fitness service, as an online coach like Adam, it's very easy to, if you don't have your own voice or your own sort of flavor in your service or your product yet, it is very hard to not look around and mimic everyone that's doing well. It is actually quite hard. So it's, it's one thing to say be authentic, it's another thing to like actually action that, because I do find, if you're not comfortable in what you're teaching or doing or selling, it is quite hard to be authentic, because being authentic is being vulnerable and, loving what you do and what you sell. I found when I did my service, I always had a limiting belief of like, am I actually smart enough? Like, if I make educational videos, are people going to correct me? Or like, are people in the comments going to roast me if like I make a, wrong comment, or I say something that isn't 100% scientifically proven? Like, I always stood back from posting stuff like that because I always like doubted myself. So I do find, once you're proud and loud and confident in what you're doing and selling, it is so much easier to then be authentic about selling it. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, I just found with Ava at the start, I probably wasn't that loud and proud about it. And I was sort of doing that sort of boring walk through a park, holding a coffee videos and photos, and go into the gym and pretend you're doing a bicep curl photos and videos. And it was like boring. And then I think something just sort of clicked in within me this year. This is, November, actually. Sorry, November 2023 was my first creative marketing shot. And it was more so just testing. I was literally just like, and I had an idea and I thought, I just would want to film this for my own personal library, to be fair, but let's see if this is going to be cool for like my brand. And I don't know if you've seen it, but we did a video a little bit like 90s inspired, and I learnt a dance to a Michael Jackson song. And we had like 8 colors of matching sets, let's say, in this collection. And I did the dance 70 times, like let's say 10 times in each color. And then my editor, when he edited it up, cut it so that it looked like as I was dancing and moving, I was like, just the clothes were changing like magic.
Oh my God, that's sick. I haven't seen that one.
You'll have to see it. It's one of my faves. But I remember when I posted that, to be honest, that collection didn't actually do that good, to be honest. But the marketing and the exposure, like every man and their dog put that on their story, because they were like, what is this marketing from an activewear brand? Like, nobody does this, and why is she doing it? But I'm loving it and I'm actually watching it. Because I sort of thought within myself, I don't watch, I'm not going to name drop any brands, but I don't watch any other brands' campaign videos in activewear anyway, personally. Now I might, just for like, market research, see what everyone else is getting about. But back in November, when I didn't really look at anything, okay, I'd click on it, but I wouldn't finish the whole video. I'm like, it's boring. I don't care about these scenic videos. It was the same as TikTok. Now with TikTok, you're so used to having like 5-second, like bang, bang, bang. It's entertaining within the first 2 to 5 seconds. You want that from your campaign videos too. So doing a sort of big overhyped campaign launch and having something that nobody expected was like going to be my new thing. So then going into Feb this year, which from Feb till now, we've done really rogue marketing videos for everything. February, I decided, I remember my marketing boys like, okay, that's different. I was like, I want to shoot this activewear collection on a farm, and the girl's going to be wearing activewear, but cowboy boots and cowboy hats. And then I want to get a horse. And they were like, oh, like thinking, what the hell? Obviously, like now cowboy core is like such a thing. But at the time, I had seen not one activewear brand do a collection where they're not wearing runners. Never, ever, ever. Like, it was like runners or bare feet. No one was wearing cowboy boots and heels and shit. It was very weird. And again, did that collection, did that campaign, and everyone was like eating it up. They were like, I'm not going to style the activewear like that, but I'm loving this for you, and I want to watch all of it, and I want to see all the photos. So yeah, it's just, I honestly, the ideas come to me when I'm in the shower, when I'm doing a number 2, when I'm off with the fairies, when I'm, doing everything and anything. And I'll always just hey Siri, call, my marketing team. And then I'm like, I've just come up with a genius idea, da 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 da, and I
You set
ramble.
my Siri off.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just like, that's literally not my voice, Siri.
Um, but yeah, I think marketing now needs to be fun, needs to be entertaining, just like, you're not going to post a TikTok video that is boring because you're like, oh, TikTok's not that way inclined. So why would you make your campaign videos or your photos you're investing a lot of time and money into boring?
Mm,
Need
yeah.
to be a professional. I mean, all of our videos are professionally done, but it doesn't need to be like an old school Nike ad where it's like, wear your Nike running and look so good. Wear with trainers. Oh, here's a person running. It's like not like that no more.
Yeah, I love that. And I think the biggest takeaway, even for myself, in that is like literally just like scrapping the rule book of what you think needs to be done. I think people, because otherwise it's like, if you apply this formula to come up with your unique thing, it's still not unique because it's like you're still somewhat replicating someone else and doing it's like not the fact that you did the Michael Jackson dance that made it successful. It's the fact that it was completely unique. So I think even that for people. And I started doing that in the coaching industry where I was like, yeah, what the fuck? Like we launch and it's just like Canva fucking slides of like this service and that thing. And I was like, no, fuck it. Like my friends are influencers. I'm gonna do like an influencer lunch, like launched. I had one of those. I don't know if you've seen those burn cakes where you like burn it and it like reveals yeah, I had one of those and it's like been my most successful launch. I'm like, do shit differently. Like that's what works.
Well, the whole point of marketing is to get people's attention, you know? Only so many people, you're only going to get so many people's attention by posting those Canva graphics. They're good filler photos, but is that your launch strategy? No, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, love it. Love it. I'd love to kind of like wrap it up in terms of I'd love to hear if there's like been a big challenge that you've overcome or something where it's like I had a fucking 50K bill, like, like anything where it's just like this is my biggest lesson in business so far. And just how you've overcome it. I just feel like that's a cool kind of lesson to wrap up the episode.
Mhm. Oh my God. I feel like if you're not consistently learning lessons, but learning hard and fast and then evolving and, putting out fires, I feel like your business probably isn't doing that well. Like to run a business is to learn how to put out fires and to manage issues and have issues to grow from and learn from. So in the last 18 months, I have learned very hard and very fast a lot of times, unfortunately. Obviously being an e-commerce brand, the first thing that comes to my mind is product-based issues. Um, that we had a particular product launch and I remember I posted like a little teaser video and everyone in the comments was like gagging at this product. Like, I need that, launch it tomorrow. I need 100. And I thought, shit, I was like, maybe I should double my order, right? Usually, even now, I know that Ava's doing good and people want my things, but even now, if it's a new product, you start small, you restock, you build from there, you create a sense of, what's the word? You
And
create demand and hype, yes. But I just thought the demand's there, the hype's there. I'm gonna like cash in from this. This is like ages ago, and I'm gonna double my order. So let's say I usually order 40 in each size. I like ordered 200 in each size, thinking this is going to be my viral moment. I'm gonna have like the viral dress, the viral blazer, the viral jeans. This is my viral moment. And I remember it launched, like I sold a few, I won't lie, but holy shit, we are still selling them on sale today. And that's not because it's a bad product, it's so bad. That's not because it's a bad product or a bad fabric or a bad design or a bad cut. Like it's still made to perfection. I just don't know who the hell needed 200 of each size in that and where I was selling them to, especially, 9 months into the business. It was very wild behavior from my part, but yeah, I think my biggest ever lesson is, even if your business is 10 years old and you're killing it, still go off things based off of like past, history and analytics and data and forecast from there accordingly.
yeah, I love that. And just like the meeting yourself where you're at. And I think sometimes the like just sending it in your business can be really like glamorized where it's
Make
like,
it
yeah, you're just being fucking stupid. Like even for me, like my past retreat like sold out within a few weeks. Like I think it was like 2 weeks, but even this one I'm still like, wait list, is there interest? Like the dates, the budget. I'm like, I'm not investing 10K into a house. And then
No.
we sell 2 tickets. I'm like, well, slay. Well, I am going to wrap it up there. I feel like I could continue just chatting for ages and ages, but I love
No.
so it's like
2 hour podcast thoughts.
I feel like I've got to come to Melbourne. I was going to come for this one, but I'm like maybe a part 2. We'll get the people.
Or sort out like, you know what you should do? You should like get at least 5 people together so it's like ultra worth your while, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like tour the country. And if
Yeah,
you're over in Queensland, we'll make it happen.
100%. Sounds good.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to just share all of the things, all of the tea. I feel like it's going to be so beneficial for your community, my community, and yeah, it's just been the best episode. So thank you so much. For anyone that needs to find you personally, Ava, what's all the handles, website, all of the things?
Yeah. Um, Always come over to our TikTok, always a fun time. That's just Aver Active, and I'm always on live and like replying to people. So same as our Instagram, Aver Active, and website is www.averactive.com.au if you need activewear, ladies.
Slay, super easy. Thanks again. And that wraps up another episode of Simply Business. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to today's episode. If that you enjoyed today's conversation, please feel free to share it onto your socials and tag me. I love seeing all of your shares and feedback on the episode. If that you're feeling extra generous, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok at Taylor Lee Consulting. And a like and subscribe wherever you listen to this podcast would be greatly appreciated. I'll catch you in the next episode.